Hey guys. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much, Jolene. All right. No wonder why no one could hear me because I was muted. All right. So at least we know, thank you, Jolene, that the chat is working. And we are going to get started right away here. So thank you guys so much for attending. Welcome to our webinar. I'm super excited to dive in and show you how you can take an exciting journey into business ownership and be able to work from home or from the road, and be able to achieve your personal goals when it comes to financial goals, but also location and time preferences as well. So we're going to dive into this and you're going to see what this is all about, be able to ask me any questions that you can think of along the way as well, and get all of this clear and help you guys establish some goals on how you can start reaching some of these financial, location, and time preferences that you have. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Tiffany Higgins. I'm a CPA. I'm also a mom of 5. I founded the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy after our family experienced all the wonderful things that came to us after starting the bookkeeping business back in 2015. So I was actually able to get started with it and work part-time from home, growing my business with a 6-month-old and 2 elementary school age children quickly and easily. So much so that my husband was also able to quit his job within about 7 months of me creating my LLC. That was not the plan. It was just a happy accident because this business grew so quickly and easily. I brought in enough money to cover all of our bills for our family at the time. And he actually got to retire on Christmas Eve of 2015, which was a really awesome, fun Christmas present for all of us. And since then, I was able to continue to have a thriving business with my bookkeeping firm as I brought twins into the world. We also decided to homeschool our older kids. We moved during this time, upgraded our house, moved to a different city. I ended up nursing the twins for several years while homeschooling the kids. And my husband and I were still able to maintain our bookkeeping business and to grow it during this entire time. But between the two of us, we never worked more than a combined like 35-ish hours a week at the peak of the business. So it was really incredible to be able to not only juggle all of that and do all of those things for our family, be together every day, have the flexibility to move, work from home, set our own schedule. But we made more money with our bookkeeping business than the two of us had ever made combined working in full-time jobs, both at the same time. So it was really, really awesome. Type a yes in the chat if that is something that you're looking for, that you would love to maybe work from home, have reduced hours, have more money coming in, and be available for your family anytime that they need you. So yes, yes. Okay, that's what you guys are all here for. Hey, Natalie. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you guys on here. Hey, Scott. All right. So then towards the end of my bookkeeping business, I actually hired someone to work for me. And she gave me the idea of starting the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy. So I decided to sell my bookkeeping business, which I'll tell you guys all about that here later. And the cool part about, what you can do with these businesses if you build them right. I decided to sell it and go full force 100% into starting the Bookkeeper Academy so I could show other people how to have this financial freedom as well. And we've been running this academy since April of 2016. We've made over $10 million helping families work less, make more, and build virtual recession-proof businesses that are in high demand. We've helped thousands of families completely change and transform their life. An example that I'll share with you later is my husband, Sean, and I just got back from Jamaica. We were celebrating with Kaylee Douglas and her husband. They have been in the academy for the last 4 years and are going to hit close to $500,000 in their business. And they are 26 years old. So if they can do it, you guys can all do it. It just takes following the process, following the steps, and you can reach all of these levels of success too. But I'm going to dive into all of that nitty gritty here very, very soon. So just so you guys understand what we're all about here at the Bookkeeper Academy, it is our mission to help empower people to become financially independent without sacrificing connectivity with their families by offering the education and framework to launch their own bookkeeping business from home. So this is what we stand for. This is why we're here. And our motto is have your cake and eat it too, as you can see if you're in our free Facebook group. And that really just means we want you guys to be able to be the type of parents you want to be or live the type of life that you want to live, but also have the financial means behind it. So you don't have to choose between, let's say being a great parent and having the kind of money that you want to support your kids. You can have your cake and eat it too. You can have both. And I'll show you guys how we did that. So I'm curious who all we have attending today. We've got a lot of people on here. This is really awesome and so exciting. But if you could drop a 1 in the chat if you've been on a live webinar with me before, maybe over the last couple of months, or if you've never attended a webinar with me before, drop a 2 because I'd love to know who we have joining us today. All right, Jolene's back and Tariq's back. Welcome, Lisa. Kim's back. Welcome. Scott and Katie are new. Welcome. Jenna's new. Hey, Natalie. Welcome back. Eris and Tammy, Amanda. Awesome. Great. Scott, Isha, Kadaja, Suman, Sarah. Welcome back, guys. Welcome if you're new. So a little bit of how this is going to go. For everyone that's new here, welcome to our webinar. We're going to go over lots of information, and I'm going to stay on until, all the way through to the very end and answer every single question that you have. If you have to leave early, that's okay. This will be recorded, but if you are able to stay on to the end, I will be here to answer every question. If you have to pop off, feel free to pop back on because I can still answer more questions. Hey, Misha, how's it going? Hey, Wanda. So I will be available to answer all those questions for you. All right. And again, I do these webinars every Thursday and Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. So hop back on anytime you need to. If you have somebody in your family that you want them to learn all about this as well, so that way you can let them know, or you guys can have a good educated conversation about starting this up. And you're welcome to invite anybody to come to the webinar as well. You can come back multiple times. Jolene, yes, I do the same webinar each time. So even if you want to hear this again, let it absorb again, or if you just want to pop on towards the end and ask a bunch of questions, you're welcome to do that too. And I'm happy to help you guys make the best decision and the best game plan for your family moving forward. So the chat is always a great place to ask questions, but if you also want to use this Q&A feature, this one's nice too, because I can check them off, and that way I won't miss any questions in the chat if the chat gets going real active. So don't be shy. Every question is a great question. We love questions, and we know that a lot of people are brand new to business ownership, brand new to bookkeeping, and so I am interested and available to answer every single question that you have. So yes, Jolene, if you have to leave by 11, we'll send you this recording at the end too, where you can watch the rest of it after that. But then you can also, we'll text you too. So anybody that's attending today, you guys will probably hear from my husband, Sean, later today, just to follow up, see if you had any additional questions and help you with your next step and your game plan. So, all right, so let's just go over quickly the agenda for today so you guys have an idea of what we're going to do. The first thing I want to do is dive into the investment options for our programs, and then also our new guaranteed approval program. So we have a lender who, because of the success of our students and because of how quickly you can actually make money and get a return on investment in our program, our lender is approving everyone. So you don't have to have good credit. You don't even have to have a job. You just have to make sure that you can make the monthly payment, and the lender will approve you. And then you'll be able to get started with very little down in our program. But I'm going to go over what that investment option looks like right from the very beginning, so you guys can jot that down, have an idea of what it looks like to get started. And then as you're learning how this business works, you'll understand how you're going to be able to get your return on investment there. So we're going to go over that first, Tariq. And then the next step we're going to dive into is defining your goals. So this is kind of the first step to determining the baseline of where you are, but where you want to be. And then from there, I'll be able to show you why and how a bookkeeping business is going to be ideal for your family to help you reach those exact goals. So you can literally walk away from this with complete clarity on exactly how you can get to the goals that you have for your family and start to get that game plan together. And then lastly, I'll walk you through how our team can help you kickstart your business, what exactly is included in our programs, and how we can help you build the foundation that you need to carry this success into the future, like Kaylee and Jason Douglas have for years to come, whether you're an experienced bookkeeper or if you've never even heard of QuickBooks before. So we're going to walk you through all of that as well. So like I mentioned, we'll start with the details first. So I'll give you some details about the Academy investment, how you can get started with our guaranteed funding program, but stick around because we're going to show you exactly how you can make this money back really quickly. Some students have even made this back with cleanup jobs within the first couple of months of being in the program. So if you're new here, you'll be able to see how you can turn this investment into lifelong money with your family or for your family. But I want to be upfront with you guys so you know what you're working for. So our most popular program is our Bookkeeper Academy program, and it is a $12,000 investment for 12 months. So we help you learn the skill of being a bookkeeping business owner, but we also help you make $100,000 in your first 12 months or less, depending on your goals, if that's your goal. You go from making literally $0 to making over $100,000 working part-time, starting with little to no experience. You can pay this in full, or we have a payment plan as well, and I'll tell you about that in a second. You can actually get started with very little down. But the most important part about this investment is that we are set up to help you get almost a 10x return on investment in your first year alone. So what we see from most of our students is every year they're in business, they start to double. If that is your goal. If your goal is that you just want to make $4,000 or $5,000 a month and you want to focus on growing your family, you can definitely do that with your bookkeeping business. But if you have a goal of like making a ton of money, you want to grow this business really large, you can do that too. And what we see with those students that have those high goals, they're able to double their business almost every year. And so, you may make $100,000 in your first year, which would give you almost a 10x return on investment in the Academy Academy, but your second year, you may make 150 or 200,000. And then your third year, you may make 250 or 300,000 or more. And like Kaylee and Jason Douglas, they're getting close to making $500,000 and they're in their fourth year of business, just wrapping up their fourth year. So we aim to get you a really high return on investment for the Bookkeeper Academy. And like I mentioned, due to the Bookkeeper Academy student success rate and our funding specialist, they have decided to approve anyone who wants to enroll in our program. And this is also due to the fact that you guys can actually start making money really quickly. We had a student a couple of weeks ago, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, she joined on a Saturday. She attended the Saturday webinar. She applied for funding. She got immediately approved. And by Monday evening, she was onboarded into our academy. Tuesday, she had her first client that signed up for cleanup services. So it can happen really, really quickly. And I'll show you how we help you on that journey here a little bit later on the slideshow. But due to the fact that we provide that safety net for you guys to learn while you're getting paid, our lender and the funding specialist, they will approve pretty much anyone, really anyone that wants to join our program as long as you have the monthly payment available. And here's what that looks like. So the monthly payment amount is dependent on your credit score, but the highest possible payment for our 12-month Bookkeeper Academy program is $640. So it won't go higher than that. It's locked in at that rate. So as soon as you're ready to get started, you just need to have the $640 down and the lender is going to approve you and you'll be able to get going right away. Now, this is the equivalent of like 1 to 2 super small clients. So as soon as you get, your first or second client, you're going to even cover that payment. So you're going to be ahead of the game really quickly. If you do have really good credit, you could get payments as low as $290, but most of our students qualify for the $640 payment. So what we usually say is if you have that down, then you're going to be approved, you're going to be ready to go, and you're going to be able to get started. So that's some of the technical details. So if you guys want to jot that down, I'm going to show you how you can make this money super quickly on this thing as well. But I would love to know what you guys think about making $100,000. Do you believe that that is something that is possible for you, given your life experiences and where you are at in life right now? And if you had the right tools, the right opportunity, the right mentor, could you make $100,000 working part-time from home? So type a yes if you believe in yourself that you could actually accomplish that with the right guidance. Or if no, type a 2 if no, if you're like, I can't possibly imagine how I could really ever make that kind of money. So I'm kind of curious what people feel like. Okay, great. We've got lots of ones. Great. So you guys have the your mind is open to the possibility that you could make that. I love that. So we're going to dive into exactly how that works. Okay, so we're ready to get started. The first thing that I want to do is show you guys how you can learn to make $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000 per month, starting from ground zero. So drop your favorite emoji in the chat if you're ready to learn how this can happen. All right, awesome. Okay, so first thing that's really great to do is map out your goals so we can see exactly how each person would individually be able to reach these different stages, these different goals that you have. So I'm going to go over some different items. We'll work on setting these specific goals and map how this bookkeeping business can actually help you reach them and give you the exact timeline for how quickly you can do so. That way you can walk away from this call with complete clarity on what to expect should you decide to move forward with starting a bookkeeping business. We're going to go over financial goals, time goals, location goals, and then some fun goals at the end as well. But we do need to start with financial goals first because you need to be able to bring in money to be able to reach all of the other goals that you have for your family. Now, when we talk about financial goals, I always put these into 3 different categories. So that way you've got like manageable rungs on the ladder to achieve at these different levels. So the first one would be your financial goal number 1. And this is like a bare minimum goal. So this is a basic goal that you would want to hit to give yourself confidence that you're on the right path, basically establishing proof of concept for your family, knowing that you're ready to rock and roll and take the business to the next level again. So for example, for me, back in 2015, my bare minimum goal was $2,000 per month. Back then, I was making about $3,500 per month after taxes at my CPA job, but I was paying my nanny about $1,500 a month to watch my kids while I was gone. So I knew I really only needed about $2,000 a month to break even. Now, obviously, I wanted more, and that was a struggle for our family to have that additional expense for the nanny. So I knew we would be fine for a little bit, but I wanted to make more eventually. But this was my bare minimum goal. This was the first thing that I knew if I could make this, then I was on the right track. So, what would be the bare minimum goal that you would have for yourself when you first start your business? It could be something like covering a portion of your family's expenses, maybe enough that you could quit your job, something like that. So, type in the chat, what would it be for you to have a bare minimum goal starting your business? If you started it right now, what would be that very first goal that you have? 4 to 6, 4,000. Maria says 3,000. All right, 4 to 6, 5,000. Great, awesome. Jen says 4 to 6, 3 to 5. Okay, awesome. I love that. Okay, keep that in mind. Write it down on paper or something as well, because now we're going to talk about financial goal 2. So a lot of times what happens is you hit that first goal and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to set the next goal. So what would be that next goal for you? This one is what I call the comfortable and content goal, where you're semi-worry free. You don't have to budget every single penny. You don't have to really worry about checking grocery prices or worry about taking the family out to dinner. What would that be for you guys? For me at the time, back in 2015, it was about $5,000 to $6,000 per month. We didn't live super extravagantly. So that amount of money could cover all of our bills, and it would allow us to start reaching some of our lifestyle goals. For example, it gave me the opportunity to let my husband retire. Now, of course, we wanted more. We weren't going to be like satisfied at that level, because that was just paying everything and keeping us covered and not worrying about losing our house or anything like that. And we wanted more, but this was a really great goal for us to start achieving some lifestyle goals. So if you haven't already, drop goal number 2 in the chat. I see some of you have done that. Jen's goal 2 is 12K. Katie's is 8. Sarah's is 8. Jennifer's is 8 to 10, 5, 6 to 8. Okay. No worries, Jenna. Okay, great. Awesome. Scott's second goal is 15. Great. 20,000, 8,000. Okay, awesome. So then now I want you guys to think about what would it be for a third goal. This is like a wow goal. So if you could start reaching some of your family's super financial goals, bucket list item, things like that, what do you think you actually need to bring in each month to really start making some of those things a reality? Now, this is different for everybody, depending on where you live, what your current situation is, what you're used to making, the commitments you already have, the things that you want to do. It's totally different for everybody. So what is that for you? For me at the time, back in 2015, it was making over $10,000 a month. That's what we wanted. That goal gave us the ability to buy a new car, pay it off super early, take an extended vacation without worrying about money at all. So type in the chat if you haven't already, what would your wow goal be? So lots of 15s, 10s to 20, 25, 30K. Awesome. I love this. I love this. This is going to be so helpful for me to help you guys work out your bookkeeping business plan. So thank you so much for sharing your goals. The other great thing too about reaching these financial goals is then you can start reaching some of your time goals. And this happens really quickly as well too. So you get clarity on your financial goals, and then you get to think about, okay, what is the time goals that we have? So I want you guys to put together a comparison. We're going to do a little comparison here. So I want you to add up all the amount of time, all the hours that you work per week right now that you devote to making money for your job or whatever it is right now. And I would include time away from your family, commute, if you have to be at work over a lunch break, count all of that. So how much time per week do you spend working away from your family right now? So for me, I was gone about 40 hours a week. I worked 5 minutes from home. I got to kind of work through my lunch break. So it was right at the 40-hour mark. But my husband, on the other hand, was commuting to downtown Kansas City, fighting traffic. He was typically gone about 60 hours a week. So for the two of us combined, it was over 100 hours a week is what we were devoting to our jobs away from the family. So type in the chat how many hours you are away. And then if you work from home still right now, so we've got a lot of 25 to 30, 40 to 60, 45, 40. Awesome. Tariq 60 to 67. Scott's at 60. Yeah, that won't change much for me. I'm already home. Yes. But if you do have a work from home job, how much do you have to be like on schedule, like in your room or whatever, away from your family? Or if you don't have that flexibility, or if you're a stay-at-home parent right now, or you don't have a job, how much would you have to be away to make what you would need to make to reach your maybe goal number 2? 35, Carolyn, 84 hours. Yeah. So Wanda says 0, but if you were working and you were making $5,000 or $10,000 a month at a job, how much would you have to work? All right. Okay. So now, in a perfect world, in a perfect scenario, if you could still make the kind of money that you want to make, 10, 15, 20,000, $25,000 per month, how much time per week would you want to devote to that? Because the cool thing with a business is as you grow, you're going to make great money. But then as you also start building your team, you're going to be able to leverage other people's time and you'll still be able to make money without adding more hours to your plate. So if you could make an unlimited amount of money, but you could pick your schedule, how many hours per week would you want to work? Awesome. So, yep, this is usually what I see. Some people usually want to do around 20 to 25, but even if you still like working full time, you can definitely do that as well. 20 to 40. The great thing about a business and having your own business is that when you put in more time, you reap the rewards, right? And Jen would like to do 10 to 15 per week. Love that. So keep in mind with a bookkeeping business, you're going to get to choose the time of day, the day of week, your own schedule, any way that you want to work. And you can even change it from week to week, which is awesome. It's super flexible. But these numbers are really important here. So you can see the roadmap here on an upcoming slide. So I'll show you about that as well. And then the other cool thing with a bookkeeping business is that you get to have location freedom. So type in the chat, where do you guys want to work from? Are some of you wanting to work from home? Are some of you wanting to work from an RV? Are you wanting to have the freedom to go visit family in different states or work from the road or be able to travel? So type in the chat, what location are you looking for to want to be able to work? Anywhere, home, freedom to travel, home and on the road. Awesome. Colombia and Florida. From home, but not be tied to my home. I love that. Yep, I love that. Our new under construction homestead. That's awesome. Yes, and be able to be there to work on that. I love it. Anywhere when traveling. Okay, great. I love this. So you can do that with your bookkeeping business because it is all 100% virtual. So the next thing is, this is always fun. These are just like fun, awesome goals that you can have. I've seen a lot of students over the last 4.5 years pay off a bunch of debt. We had a student who her husband was a chiropractor. And he had about $160,000 of student loan debt. He went to an extended chiropractic school, and she was a homeschooling mom of 4, and she started her bookkeeping business to literally just pay off all of his debt. She was actually able to pay his debt off in a little over 2 years of starting her bookkeeping business while working, from home and homeschooling her 4 kids. She didn't have any previous bookkeeping experience. We helped her with all of that, but she made enough money to pay off his student loan debt. And then by the end of it, she was actually making more money than he was as a full-time chiropractor, which was crazy incredible. So I've seen a lot of people pay off debt. Is that a goal that you guys have for yourself? I've also seen students buy houses. I've seen people that had never had a house that they've owned on their own before. They had always been renters, and they were able to like almost skip that starter home and literally buy their dream home right from the gate, and using only their bookkeeping business income to fund that. We've also seen people do some investing with it, and also like traveling and buying rental properties and taking vacations and things like that. So what would be like a really fun additional goal that you guys would have? Drop that in the chat. Catherine says, pay off debt, buy a house for my family, buy a car, then a house for Wanda. Amanda wants to pay off debt, buy a house, then need a new car. Awesome. Yeah. And so this is cool. I'll show you guys how you can fund some of these big ticket items too with your bookkeeping business as well, because there's two main streams of revenue in a bookkeeping business. It's monthly consistent reoccurring income. And then there's one-time new client cleanup fee, startup fee costs. And so you can usually fund some of these big ticket items when you get a new client. You have cleanup fees, and then you fund your normal reoccurring monthly expenses with your monthly maintenance fees that you charge clients. So I'll show you guys all about that here very soon. But for example, for me, to celebrate our 1-year anniversary in my bookkeeping business, we bought a new van. I completely paid this off within 6 months. At the time, it was about a $45,000 car. And we bought this solely with only my bookkeeping business income. And we were able to pay it off like really, really soon. We still drive this car today. And when we first bought this car, we took our kids on a 16-day vacation across the country. We stopped in Estes Park, Mission Beach, California, and the Grand Canyon before coming home. And it was something that I always used to watch my boss do when I was go to work at the CPA firm. I would see my boss traveling all the time and doing all these fun things. And I didn't have the flexibility or the financial means to be able to do that working as a employee. So I was super excited to be able to do this within my first year of starting a business, buy a brand new car, and go on a 16-day vacation. And what's really cool about a bookkeeping business is that the deadlines are typically in a monthly fashion. So I was able to really do the bare minimum, almost no work during this entire 16-day trip. And then when I got back home after that, I just caught up on on my bookkeeping work. So it's very, very flexible, typically over a monthly, like rolling time frame. So it gives you the flexibility too, to be able to travel and do this without having to be stressed about working and taking your, computer and things like that. I did take my laptop on this trip and I did do a little work here and there, but it was very, very minimal, which was really awesome. So now we're going to really dive into the roadmap. Now you guys have all these goals outlined and you know what you need financially to be able to make this make sense to start a bookkeeping business. I'm going to show you exactly what that roadmap looks like so you have complete clarity on this whole process. And again, this webinar is going to be recorded, but stick around with me because I'm going to answer every question that you have at the end. Okay, so the first thing is I want to go over the part of the income that I told you guys about that is monthly reoccurring, like a monthly maintenance. These are monthly packages that you charge your clients. This doesn't talk about at all about the sign-on bonus that you usually get with the client, the cleanup fees and that kind of stuff. So I'll go over that later because that is really awesome too. But I want to give you guys a map of knowing exactly how you can build consistent monthly reoccurring income in your bookkeeping business that's very similar to what you guys enjoy right now with your jobs, getting that monthly or weekly paycheck that you have from your employer. This bookkeeping business can provide the same, actually even more stability than you have from your jobs right now. And this is kind of what it looks like based on averages. So this is a super conservative, realistic picture of the time frame that you can expect with consistent income that you can count on for every single month into the future. Even if you don't add another single client once you reach your goal, you know that this money will be coming in every month. And again, I'll show you how you can make even more on top of this on an upcoming slide as well. But what we typically see from our students is that they add about an additional $1,000 of monthly income to their business for every month they are in business. So if you want to make $2,000 per month, then it usually takes about 2 months or so to get there. So if you started today, by the end of December, right around Christmas time, New Year's time, you would already be at that first goal that I had of $2,000. So if your second goal was say like $5,000 a month, you'd be at that, let's see, November, December, January, February, March. So like middle of tax season, you'd be at your $5,000 goal. A lot of times also during tax season, we see our students blow past this timeline And that usually, there's two different tax seasons. There's one in September, October, and then there's another one January through April. So we see students getting lots of clients in these months as well, which helps speed up this timeline. But this chart shows the average student that works full-time and has little kids at home. So if that's you, this is the pace you can expect. It will be a lot quicker for you if you happen to have more time available to focus on growing your business. But most people really that we work with usually work full-time and usually can reach these goals if you're putting in about an hour a day to follow our marketing plan. So what month would you hit at? Type in the chat what month you would hit your first goal. So for me, it would be the end of December. So what would that be for you guys? If you started your bookkeeping business today, what month would you hit your first goal? Three months in March. Okay. November. Awesome. That'd be quick. Fantastic. February. 2 months for Sarah. Awesome. Within December, January, February, December. Awesome. So as you guys can see, like really quick, and this is one of the reasons why our lender is willing to go ahead and approve everybody, because you can actually hit some of these goals. And worst case scenario, if the monthly payment to the lender is a $640 monthly payment, like I mentioned on the previous thing, you can see that just within a month or two, worst case, you're going to have a reoccurring revenue coming in every month that's going to cover that payment. So they're confident that you guys will be able to make the payment. I'm confident you'll be able to exceed that and continue to bring in more money so you can reach your other goals. Let's see. Based off of this chart, month 4, I can do more than 1 hour. So it might be sooner. Awesome. I love that. That's great. And how can you realistically make 20K per month and not work more than 30 to 40 hours? Just wondering. Yes. So I'll show you that on here on an upcoming slide. Alina, usually at the 20K per month mark, you are doing about 40 hours a week of bookkeeping work. However, probably a little bit before that is when our students typically start wanting to build a team. And so when you build a team, you're able to leverage other people's time to do some of the work for you, keeping your hours low, but keeping your income high. So I'm going to show you guys all about that. Katie, you can't see the chart? I don't know. I think everybody else can see it. Can you guys all see it? You might have to toggle. Sometimes people have to toggle. More money, more clients, and less clients are charged more per hour. Yes. So this would be typically you're going to be getting more money when you get more clients. Yes. So as you guys can see, if you invest $640 to get started, then, even by month 2, you're already like doubling, almost tripling what your monthly payment is. So you can start contributing to your family's finances like very quickly, which is really awesome. So now I want to show you guys, you see the levels of income that you can make and approximately how long it's going to take you to hit those consistent numbers. So as you can see, to get down to 20,000, it takes a little bit of time. It could be like about a year and a half to get there, just depending on how much time you want to put into it and how quickly you want to grow. Now, I have had students that have hit that mark in a little bit less time, but that takes quite a bit of effort. So, but this is a pretty good show of exactly how long it should take you to hit these various levels. But then people always ask me about this time, well, how many clients do you need to make that kind of money? So I want to talk about that for a second. So let's say for your first goal, my first goal was $2,000 per month. So according to this chart and according to the data, it's about 4 super small clients. So, if your comfortable goal is like $5,000 a month, it's about 10 clients. And then like the wow goal, maybe $10,000 a month would only be about 20 clients. Now, this chart is also assuming that every client you get is really small, a super small client. So it's a range. You'll stumble across clients from all different sizes. Some of our students get somewhat larger clients, and that would just mean you would need less clients to reach your goals. So for example, we have a student I'll tell you about here shortly. Her name is Kim. She got a new client in December that's paying her $2,200 per month. So instead of 4 clients at that first milestone, she only needed 1. That was her first client. So she hit that first goal with only one client instead of four. When I had my bookkeeping business, I was making $20,000 per month, and I only had 33 clients instead of the 40 listed here, just so you guys can get a feel for what the typical range might be. So look at this chart and tell me, based on your first goal, goal number one, how many clients would you need? Type that in the chat. Catherine needs 8. Misha and Amanda need 6. Ahmad only needs 1. 4, 6, 10, 8. Okay, great. Okay, 8 to 10 range. So we've got kind of like from 1 up to 10 maybe. And some 8s and 2s. Okay, awesome. Okay, so now let me show you guys what you're working with as far as like the potential client pool. So this chart here shows you how many potential clients there are in the US. This is based off of just the US numbers. So this is from 2022, but in 2022, there were 33.2 million businesses in existence. And as you can see from this chart, this is a 6-year chart, every single year it grows. It grew steadily. In fact, there's over 500,000 small businesses starting up every single month. Bookkeepers and CPAs, traditional trained ones, they're actually retiring in droves. There's nobody to replace them because there's been a huge decline in people interested in getting accounting degrees because of the low pay and the long hours during tax season. So clients are literally everywhere. There's never going to be a shortage of potential clients for you, tons of fish in the sea, and never enough bookkeepers out there to help everyone. But what's really cool is that it also helps that bookkeeping is a required service. It's not a luxury item that you have to try and convince someone to purchase. All businesses know that they need it. They're already convinced of the value. They can't get loans without their bookkeeping completed. They can't file their tax return without their bookkeeping completed. So they know they need it. Whether they try to do it themselves or they realize this is not worth my time and they go look for a bookkeeper, finding and getting these clients is relatively easy. Of course, we walk you through exactly how to find clients, and I'll show you all about that on an upcoming slide as well. So based on the fact that you guys need anywhere from like 1 to 10 clients to reach your goal, and there's this huge pool of clients right here, drop a thumbs up in the chat if you feel like the number of clients you need for your first goal is doable. Do you feel like it's possible that you could find, with our guidance, 1 to 10 clients pretty quickly? Okay, thumbs up. Awesome. Yes. Great. And if you don't, please tell me, and that way I can know that too. But now we are going to move on to my favorite slide of the presentation. Before I do that, Eris says, is the chart mainly guaranteeing that we would make around this much in the program? Yes. So that chart that I showed you of like what you guys make and how you can make, that is what you can expect. Now, we don't have any guarantees, right? Because this is so dependent on your effort. So we can't necessarily guarantee these results because it's dependent on how much time and effort and energy you put into it. So for example, if you go to college, right, and you go through your degree and your classes and stuff, they don't guarantee that you're going to get a job when you quit or when you graduate, because they can't control if you come to class. They can't control if you study. They can't control what your GPA is and things like that. So it's so dependent upon you. So we are going to do everything in our power to keep giving you the resources that you need, supporting you, helping you, answering your questions, and helping you along in the process so that you have these exact results. But if you choose not to do any of the work, you won't have these results, right? So just want to put that out there so that you guys understand. And Ahmad, we'll go over the investment for the academy again. I did that a little bit at the beginning. Jolene says, once we have the income coming in to leave our job, where do we find health insurance? That's a great question. I have a whole lesson in our program on how to get health insurance, but just real quick, when I started my business and then my husband quit his job, we were in that situation where we needed health insurance and we wanted to have more kids. So we knew we needed something that would cover us. We actually use this company called Liberty Health Share. And I tell you guys all the pros and cons and everything of that in our program. But it worked really well for us. It was a healthcare sharing co-op type of deal. And it covered my twin pregnancy and our C-sections and all hospital stays and all of that stuff. It was actually better insurance than I had when I was working my job and had my third child. So health insurance can be something that always holds people back a little bit, but there are a lot of options out there. We've had a lot of students also get health insurance through a broker and using the marketplace as well. So the amount of money that you can make above and beyond what your health insurance premiums may change to is staggering. So you definitely want to think outside the box and not let just a health insurance or maybe even like a work 401k plan or something like that hold you back, because you can actually make so much more money in your bookkeeping business than you could by staying with those certain benefits. Because we like fund our own 401k now, and it's way more than I ever made at my previous jobs, way more than my husband ever made. So great question, Jolene. Okay, my favorite slide of the entire presentation. This one is the expected time commitment you need to make to complete the bookkeeping work for the clients that you have at various monthly income levels. So if you take a look at this chart, for my first goal of $2,000 per month, I knew I was only going to have to work about 4 hours per week. And that's all it takes to complete the bookkeeping work for all of those clients that are paying that total amount of money. 4 hours per week. So I knew this to be true because I worked in a CPA firm and I was the person that did the bookkeeping work for the clients. But I saw how much my boss charged them, and I knew how long it took me to do the work. So when I decided to step out and just do this on my own, I knew that if I only found a few clients, I could make what I needed to make and only have to work 4 hours a week instead of 40. So for me, when I quit my job, I knew it was a no-brainer. I didn't know how to get clients. I wasn't really sure exactly how to quote or how my workflow was going to go a little differently. But I knew from experience that I could make this kind of money and work these kind of hours, and how much more potential that would have because I was working at a CPA firm where I was experiencing that. So over time, I've been able to show other people how to do this, replicate this. This is like super scientific. You are going to make this if you follow the steps, and I'll show you how it works in a little bit later, because I like to break it down and show you guys the science behind why this works the way it does. But just know for now, this is how it works out. So imagine that for a minute. If you had all this time back, you could spend it with your family, pick up a hobby, enjoy more life, or even reinvest some time back into your business so you can hit more goals. So look at this chart and say maybe like your full-time job that you have now, how much do you make at that? If it's like $5,000, $8,000 a month, whatever it is, look over at the time per week that you would be working and type in the chat, how many hours per week would you save if you had a bookkeeping business instead of your full-time job right now? What would that look like? How many hours per week would you be saving? So Catherine says 25 hours she would be saving. That is awesome. What else? For some of you guys, if you were working 40 hours per week and then you only had to work 10, you'd be saving 30, right? Wanda says 15. Mariella says 15. Sarah would save 20. Felicia saved 20. Amber saved 30. Tariq would save 55. Scott would save about half of his hours, so about 30. Awesome. If I worked on bookkeeping, what I work now, I'd be making 40,000. All right. 40 hours. Okay, so this is a lot of time that you guys would be saving. Can you imagine if you have that extra time, what would you do with your life? You know, you could do, like I mentioned, pick up a hobby, spend more time with your family, enjoy life more. You could also reinvest it into your business. And this is exactly how some of our students can really take these businesses to the next level. You know, Kaylee Douglas that I mentioned, she's about to hit the $500,000 mark, may have already hit it. But she's had different seasons in her business where sometimes she takes that extra time and she spends it with her family, because during the 4 years they've had another kid and they've been able to really devote some time to their family. And then sometimes she has seasons where she takes that extra time, that extra hours, and she puts it back into marketing, puts it back into her business and grows. Or sometimes she'll put it into hiring so she can build her team. So it's really awesome that you have extra time on your plate to be able to then do those things. But if you look at this chart, even at like, for me, my wow goal was $10,000 per month. As you look at this, you only need to work 20 hours a week to reach that. And the cool thing is you can choose, those hours can be whenever and however you want to work them. You can work in the morning before the kids wake up. You can work late at night. You can work on the weekends. You can have like a 10-hour Monday and spread everything else evenly over the rest of the week. It is totally flexible and totally up to you. And you can even change your schedule from week to week. It is amazingly flexible. Jen says, I won't save much in the way of work hours, but my income would increase our quality of life exponentially, and the type of work I do will improve drastically because I won't be so anxious and worried about my income. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. So here's a overview. If you guys want to take a screenshot of this, you're welcome to. This is kind of all of those charts combined. So it shows the average time that it takes students to reach results at the monthly income levels. Those are columns 1 and 2. And then at these various levels, how many hours per week it takes you to do the bookkeeping work and how many clients that you're going to need. So this is what we typically see. This is how it worked for me, how it's worked for thousands of other people that have been in our program, and what you can kind of expect. This is an average basically of all the types of results. So usually at this point, this is all awesome. This is great. And I have a lot of people that think, okay, well, this seems too good to be true. How does this like high money, low time business work? So drop an emoji in the chat or a yes if you feel like this too. Like this kind of feels a little too good to be true. I'm not really sure how this works. Like, doesn't make sense. Why doesn't everybody do this? Those kinds of things. Type a yes or an emoji in the chat if you kind of feel that way. Jen says, I just joined yesterday and I'm so on fire for this. Yes. Yay. I know. I'm so excited for you. All right. So I want to break down the science. Yes, it does. It seems too good to be true. Yes, totally. And it feels that way. And it will keep feeling that way as you guys dive into this and you start experiencing the results. You'll be like, I can't believe this is happening. Because we're so used to working in those employee jobs where, your mindset is different. You're working towards a little raise and a little raise and a little raise, and then to be able to control your income is a totally different feeling. But I'm going to show you the exact science behind it so that you guys totally understand why this works. Because if you think about it right now, you are working for someone that is getting these benefits because they are the business owner. And I'll show you how it works and why, they get to have those benefits. So the first thing that is the most important thing in this whole process is knowing how to quote. So proper quoting is the most important step. Obviously, understanding how to charge these potential clients that you have, making sure you're not undercharging or undervaluing your services. That is a really important skill to develop. And it can be challenging to learn that over time. There are a lot of factors that go into quoting. We quote based on the size of the company, their revenue, the industry that they're in, how organized they are. Are they mixing up their personal and business expenses, things like that? How many accounts do they have? Things like that. So we put all of that together into a formula, and then we help you quote based on those criteria. When you're in the Bookkeeper Academy, we not only give you a flow chart of exactly how to do that, but we also have a quoting tool where you get to ask your client, your potential client, some questions, and then you get to put their answers into our quoting tool, and it actually tells you exactly what to charge. But then on top of that, you get to run every single quote by our team. So we can say, oh, I think the quoting tool was maybe a little bit low. Let's bump that up a bit. And that could really impact your overall monthly income. For example, Sylvia in our academy, she had worked with several clients in several industries, but then she got a lead that was in the construction industry. And that one is one that is a little bit more complex than other ones. So we usually recommend that our students charge more than what the quoting tool sometimes says. So For example, she came to the call and she's like, well, the quoting tool says I should probably charge them like $400 to $500 a month. I was thinking about sticking with the $500. And she told our team all about the person and what questions that they answered on the questionnaire. And our team was like, actually, this is pretty low. I think I would go ahead and quote him $1,000 a month. And so she was nervous because she was kind of come to terms with the 500 and she'd never quoted anyone $1,000 before, but we explained to her why. So she felt comfortable, confident. She went back to the client. She proposed the $1,000 a month and he said, sure, let's do it. Let's move forward. So essentially in that one interaction with our team, Sylvia made an extra $500 a month, which is $6,000 a year. And that's for the life of this client. So quoting can be like a really important skill to get down, but if you quote properly, then you're going to be, one step ahead of the game to reaching these exact results. So we really help you understand how to do that. Follow the quoting process that we have outlined. So that way you can build the business that actually gives you the freedom you need. Because if you underquote, you're basically going to create another job for yourself, right? But the second key pillar that works hand in hand with the quoting is understanding how to do the bookkeeping work in a proper and efficient way. So if you're brand new, it's nice because you're going to learn how to do it the right way right from the beginning. If you have a little bit of bookkeeping experience or accounting experience, that's great too. But we're going to show you how to make sure you streamline what you already know to make sure that you are doing the proper workflow in the most efficient way. So that way, between the quoting and the workflow, you guys are going to make a minimum of $100 an hour. Now, we recommend that you quote based on fixed monthly packages. So your clients don't actually know how much you make per hour. They don't know because it's a monthly fee that they pay you. But if you take the total amount of money that they're paying you and you track your time and find out what the total hours were for the month, and then you divide those out, you're going to make over $100 an hour for most clients. And it's really cool. This is on the monthly cleanup work, but even on the monthly maintenance work. But when you get a new client, there's cleanup work to be involved. And a lot of our students make over $200 an hour doing that. So it's really kind of cool. But these two things that work together, that's how you guys can make the $100 an hour or more and be able to have increased income, but decreased time for yourself. And then, of course, we also help you build your business with the end in mind. So we've thought about things that typically new business owners don't think about, and they learn later and they wish they would have known at the beginning, but we already know those things. So we help you build your business with the end in mind, even though you don't know what you need to know for the end. So there's two key things that we do right from that. The first one is we want to make sure that you're properly quoting, you're properly doing the workflow, because we need you to be profitable. So that way in the future, if you ever decide to hire employees in your business, then you will have the money to not only be able to pay your team, but to still be able to have the lifestyle and the work-life balance and a profitable business for you, even after building a team. So we are building your business from day one with the thought in mind that one day you're going to want to hire employees. So in the meantime, you get to benefit from both. You are the owner and the employee. And then once you hire employees, you'll still have that money for the employee, but you'll still get the owner pay. Does that make sense, everybody? Grace said, thank you for having this meeting on Zoom as opposed to the other platform. No problem. So if you take a look at this chart that we just looked at a few minutes ago, you can look down at the bottom, and it says you can make $20,000 per month working a 40-hour work week. Okay, so that means if you hire a full-time employee and they're going to work 40 hours a week for you, they can handle the workload for clients that total $20,000 per month. Okay, so when you go to hire a full-time bookkeeper, they usually make anywhere from like $3,500 a month up to like $5,000 a month. 5,000 is like the high end. That's like the high of what I've seen for bookkeepers. We have a lot of people that are leaving bookkeeping and CPA jobs that have come into the academy over the last couple of years. And the highest I've seen is they were making like $4,500 a month. So, but just for round number purposes, I'm going to say $5,000 a month is what you're going to pay your employee. So if you're bringing in $20,000 a month and your employee is doing all the work for those clients, but then you're paying them $5,000 a month, your business is still going to profit $15,000 a month. And this is for every full-time person you have on your team. So as you can see, when I'm talking about Kaylee and Jason making $500,000 a year, they don't have to work a ton. They don't have to work 80 hours a week because they've got team member that's helping them do this stuff. So you can still have the work-life balance you want, but also having a really healthy profit. Now, this usually comes into play after, like your first or second year. Sometimes sooner. We do have people that hire part-time employees at the beginning because they want to stay in that marketing seat. But this is really cool. It helps you maintain a healthy profit, but still the work-life balance that you want. So the last thing too that we help you when we're building these businesses with the end in mind is that one day in the future, you may not think about this yet as a brand new business owner, but you may want to sell your business in the future. Did you guys know you can actually use these bookkeeping businesses as built-in retirement plans? I have a student named Lacey who her and her husband decided to start this business, and it is their goal over the next 5+ years to build it up so that they can sell it and then use that money to retire and travel. So there's a lot of things you can do. What's really cool about a bookkeeping business is that these are very attractive to investors. And the reason they are is because of the proper quoting and the efficient workflow makes for a high profit margin, but then also the fact that this business is really profitable even after you hire employees. Investors love that. And as you keep building this business, we help you replace yourself out of the business. Whereas when you sell your business to somebody, the business keeps running and it can run without you. Like you can literally be the CEO and the business can basically run almost completely without you. Investors find those key things to be really attractive. So if you want to sell your business to someone like that, they usually offer anywhere from 1 to 2 times your annual revenue as a selling price, just depending on how big your business is. So for example, if your business is making $200,000 per year in reoccurring income, you can typically sell that business for straight out $200,000 to someone. But if you have a larger business, let's say you're making $1 million a year, you could potentially sell it for like 2 million. So the bigger they get, the bigger the multiple gets. I have a friend that's making a little over $1 million a year in her accounting firm, and she got offered 2.2 million for someone to buy her business. So we're going to help you with the proper quoting, the efficient workflow, so you can have high profitability. So that way you can pay employees in the future and then be able to sell your business to an investor. So given all of this information, does it make a little bit more sense of why it's possible for you guys to make this kind of money and be able to reach your goals? Does it feel a little bit more scientific and less like too good to be true type of thing? Say yes if you believe that. And if not, tell me no and tell me what still feels weird to you. So let's see. Can you 10K per month solo? Do you need to build a team? No, Mary, you can make $10,000 per month solo. You can make up to, what is it? $20,000 per month if you want to work 40 hours a week. If you're a workaholic and you just want to work and you don't want any team, you can work 60 hours a week and make $30,000 a month. So you can totally do it without a team. And you can just keep adding to the hours. The other cool thing that you can do as well is once you reach a certain level, you can also start learning some higher level skills. This is what you can make, guys. This is what you can make based on basic bookkeeping. So if you help clients with basic bookkeeping, basic financial statements, maybe throw in a little invoicing or helping them with bill pay, this is what you can make over $100 an hour. But if then over time you learn how to help them with budgeting, forecasting, some other CFO level services, you can actually charge much more, double, sometimes close to triple what you charge for bookkeeping. So bookkeeping, I like to joke that it's like a gateway drug. It's a stepping stone to your future and your business. So Mary, you could build this business where you get up to making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month and never have a team. If over time you want to start like offering some higher level services even. So yes, Absolutely. But if you want to keep it super simple, I personally like keeping it simple because it's easier to scale. And then you can build a team. You can keep scaling it by offering these entry level basic bookkeeping services to people, build a team, not have to have like a ton of high level people on your team and be able to continue to scale it. So there's a lot of different things you can do with it, which is really great. And just so you guys know on this topic, our Bookkeeper Academy helps you get to this level. And then when you graduate the Bookkeeper Academy, you can renew and stay in there. Like I said, Kaylee's been in there for 4 years, but we also have programs that you can graduate into. For example, I'm super passionate about helping people build teams so that they can work 10 or 15 hours a week, but make more money than they've ever made in their lives before. So that's what it's all about. That's what we're working on with Kaylee and Jason and several other students as well. But we have mastermind programs to help you scale your marketing, help you build your team, help you get your operations under control, all of those kinds of things. So I love it. Okay, so everyone says yes. Great. Okay. Bye, Jolene. Do you guys help with getting the clients? Absolutely. So I'm going to show you all about that too. Before I dive into marketing, client getting, I want to show you one more way that you guys can make money. Mary says, what's the average time for a beginner to get a client and start getting paid? Great question. So we have had, let me just show you this girl real quick. This girl, I think you guys can see it. This is Crystal. Crystal is one I talked about a little bit at the beginning. She joined my webinar about 2 or 3 weeks ago on a Saturday. And she's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to apply for funding. She got immediately approved. By Monday, she was fully onboarded into the academy, and she posted this on Tuesday. I just started the academy yesterday, got invited to the local young professionals mingle, and just got my first prospect. She wants to start with cleanup and then go from there. So she literally got her first client on the second day in the academy and was able to make money second day. I've had students get their clients on the first day. I've had students come into the academy. I'm not sure if it's you, Jen, but I know there's somebody that Sean's been talking to that has the potential to have a huge partnership with a CPA that wants to give them all of their bookkeeping clients. And then literally you would be, Jessica, okay, you'd be coming into the academy with a handful of clients that you could start making money right away. Now I will say, it's different for everybody. That wasn't you, but it sounds awesome. Yes, we'll get you there. Don't worry, because I have a lot of students that are able to do that. And I'll tell you about that in the marketing part. But yeah, so, and then of course, Crystal says in the comments here, I was also invited to join the Chamber of Commerce breakfast in 2 weeks. So she's got more potential and more opportunity. But yeah, you can get clients right away. What I'll show you guys here in a few minutes, the actual journey of like the typical client, what we see for our typical student. So sometimes I'd say most of our students spend the first couple weeks, the first month, getting their business set up, learning some basic stuff, getting ready for clients. But it just depends on how quickly that you're ready to go. So, and if you do that, if you spend the first couple weeks, spend the first month getting things set up, getting ready to go, then likely it'll take you about a month or 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks to get your first client. But if you're just ready to go, get out there and do the stuff right away, you could literally get your first client in the first week or two. So great question. I have seen students take up to 90 days to get their first client, but it's just a total factor of what's going on in your life. Typically when I see that, it's, they're working a lot, they're not prioritizing their business yet, or maybe they've got some life stuff going on, kids things, families. I've seen a lot of single moms that are like getting ready to have babies or something like that might slow them down, but there's no reason why you couldn't get a client in the first couple weeks. So great question. Okay, so now I want to talk about the back work. So I've been focusing very heavily on the monthly reoccurring consistent income that you guys can make in the bookkeeping business, but I haven't really shown you very much about what you can make when you first get a new client. And this is called back work or cleanup work. So the terms are kind of interchangeable. But 9 times out of 10, when you get a new client, they are looking for bookkeeping services because they have established a pain point in their business and they realize, I need to get this bookkeeping under control. They've either just completely ignored it, or they have tried to do it themselves and made a mess out of it, and they need somebody to come in, catch them up, fix it, and then keep them organized going forward. So the keeping organized going forward, that's the monthly income that you're going to get every month in the future. But you've got to fix or catch them up from the stuff that they maybe didn't do. And so, and I will tell you guys, it's like 90%, maybe more, maybe like 99.99% of clients need and require some type of cleanup work, which is really, really cool, because not only is it a really awesome learning opportunity for you, when you dive into our academy and you get a cleanup job, we walk you through how to do everything, but it gives you guys a great, like, full picture of what this process looks like from start to finish. And then it gives you a huge boost of confidence to finish a cleanup job and realize, okay, I can do this. This is easy. But what's really great about it is that you usually get to charge a pretty hefty upfront fee to get them started. So I'm going to give you a few examples of what that looks like. I didn't include this on the other slide at all. This is a total separate stream of income that you can have with your bookkeeping business. And the reason I didn't include it on there is because it's a much harder to predict, because every client is different. Every client's a different size. Every client is behind a different number of months or different number of years. So it's really hard to predict what you're going to make. But I want to show you guys some average examples of what I see. So the first one is Kim. I mentioned her. She's the one that got her first client that was a $2,200 client. She joined our academy October 17th. So she just finished her first year in business. She landed her first client 6 weeks after starting our Bookkeeper Academy and launching her business. So it took her about 6 weeks because she was getting things set up and all that jazz. The first client she got was that larger client. They paid her $2,200 a month to complete the ongoing bookkeeping services. But once she started to dig into her clients' books, we helped her realize that the previous bookkeeper did not do the bookkeeping correctly for the previous months of 2022. So she was able to present those findings to her client, and we helped her put together a $9,000 cleanup job proposal. And she proposed that to her client. Her client said, go ahead, take it out of my account and let's just get this done. So on December 16th, which was less than 2 months after joining, she was actually able to make over $11,000 in her bookkeeping business. 11,000. So she was making her $2K per month in reoccurring, but she made 11,000 in month 2, which is really incredible. So this is part of how you guys are able to get that 10x return on your investment within that first year. It's also partly how you guys are able to start achieving some of those bigger goals, those lifestyle goals that you have, maybe paying off debt, maybe helping somebody like quit their job, or your spouse coming home, or you guys being able to quit your job because of cleanup jobs like this. You can take that money, dump it into savings, so you've got that cushion to be able to go ahead, quit your job, focus full force on your bookkeeping business, and keep that money coming in. So really, really cool to be able to do that. And then Alicia is another example. Alicia joined our academy in November 18th. So she's coming up on her first year in business. She spent 3 weeks getting her business set up and ready to go. And then she launched her marketing plan and got her first client on December 15th. She says in here that she started marketing 4 days and got her first client. And then this first client was a little bit larger. So it was about $1,500 per month. So right at 1 month, she got that client and making the $1,500 per month going forward. But they were behind a couple of years in their bookkeeping. They were a little bit smaller than Kim's client. So she was able to still charge about $6,000 in a cleanup fee. So in the first month of her being in the academy and starting her business, she made $7,500 in her first month. So really, really exciting to be able to bring in this kind of money and have that quick return on investment. Now, like, even if she didn't get that cleanup job, that's $6,000, she's making $1,500 per month going forward. And that covers the $640 max monthly payment that you have to join the academy. But then she also had the $6,000 in there that she could tuck away into her savings. So Kim and Alicia, this is pretty common. This is what we see. We see people anywhere from like getting $1,500 cleanup jobs all the way up to like $10,000. Those are really common. The next one I'm going to show you is not so common, but it is really cool. And I want to show this to you guys because I want you to see what the possibility is with your business. There are no like glass ceilings here. There are no limits when you start a business. So I want to show you this. This next student here is Jen. Jen, she joined our program on August 12th. And on December 12th, she had been in there for 4 months. She told our client success director that she got her 5th client that is paying her $21.97 per month, and that she had almost reached the average of $4,000 per month by 4 months in. But she got this cleanup job from this last client, and it was $32,000. Drop an emoji in the chat if you would like to make $32,000 off of one client. So I interviewed Jen on my podcast on my YouTube channel. So if you guys want to hear all the little details about this, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and watch this. I like the crying emoji. That's funny. So now Jen explains that she broke that payment out over a 4-month time span for her client, but she did receive all of that money for helping this client get their books under control. And we spaced it out. We helped her with this step. We showed her how to do it step by step, and we helped her manage, the whole process and manage expectations with her client as well. But essentially, Jen made $34,000 in her 4th month. $34,000. So that's like what? I mean, a huge return on her investment. And just with this one client, if she only got this one client for this whole year, I added it up on the last webinar. It's like $58,000 for this client for the year, counting, the 12 months of the monthly fee. So really cool, some really awesome potential. This one is not typically the norm, although I did have another student who got a $75,000 cleanup job one time. But you can expect to get a cleanup job anywhere from $1,500 up to like $10,000 for most of your clients, which is really great. And that's what really helps you get this going. Hey, Aya, good to see you on here. Okay, so here's just like a little recap slide, but I wanted to, let you guys know that when these ladies got these potential clients, we helped them understand how to handle all the steps leading up to getting paid, but all the steps that come after. So you guys are going to have a full roadmap of how to do all of this, how to replicate everything that they're doing as well. So here's some of the things that we do in the Academy to help them achieve these results. We help them understand how to conduct the new client discovery call, how to ask all the right questions, and then we were able to help them put together a proper quote and a proposal, and then be able to know how to present that to the client so that they were able to appropriately explain the value of the services that we're going to be providing so that these clients would easily say yes. Kim says, this is getting me fired up. Awesome. I'm fired up because I'm excited for you guys. For me, every single day I sit here and I know the potential that you guys all have to really make awesome changes in your life. So it is so exciting for me. And I love that you guys are getting excited too. But now that they have these clients, once they get them, we then help you understand how to efficiently onboard them so that you know how to get all the information that you need. Then we help you know how to break down the cleanup jobs into a manageable step-by-step process. We help you understand exactly how to do the cleanup work in the accounting software, and then also how to do the ongoing monthly work. So you're making a minimum of $100 per hour when you figure out all your hours. But most importantly, the most important thing that we teach, support, and help you with is how to find these clients, which, as most of you guys probably know, is called marketing. So Mary says, is the monthly cost of the Academy includes the mentoring and support? Yes. Yeah. So that's $640 that I told you guys about. That covers everything in our Academy, full support. And I'm going to go over all of those details here in a minute of exactly how we help, exactly what you get access to. Before I do that, I want to show you guys a little bit about marketing. So our students achieve all of these results that I've shared with you by usually only spending about an hour a day on their marketing. Now, it's helpful if you can do more in the beginning, but then as you start taking on clients, it's usually pretty common that you do a little bit less marketing because you're going to be focusing on doing the bookkeeping work. But if you can even devote an hour a day to following our marketing plan, you can easily achieve these results. Obviously, if you've got more time, you're just going to hit those goals, those milestones faster, because marketing is something that has to build consistency. You have to build momentum and create consistency for it to pay off. So if you can put more time into it, great, it'll happen quicker. But either way, you just need to be consistent. So allocating an hour a day for marketing is perfect. So now in our academy, we teach 3 different methods to our students. All 3 methods that we've taught have been proven to get our students from 0 to the 100K mark in their first 12 months in business. Sometimes even before, like obviously Jen hit that milestone well before the 12-month mark because she got that huge cleanup job. But what that means is we give you the opportunity to choose which method works best for you, so you don't have to do them all. Again, if you choose to do them all, you're just going to reach your goals faster. But if there's 1 or 2 of them that you just don't like, you don't have to do those. So I'm going to go over these 3, and then I'm going to have you guys vote on which ones that you're going to do when you start your business. So the first one is social media marketing. So it's all organic, nothing is paid here. There's typically no cost associated with it at all, but we help you utilize the platforms you're most familiar with to find and connect with business owners. So for example, you can use Facebook, Facebook groups, LinkedIn, Instagram, anything like that. We show you how to post content that actually gets business owners interested in reaching out to you. So you don't have to private message them or direct message them or anything, although that also does work. I'm going to show you, let's see, I have one thing here to show you. Where is it? Oh yeah, this one. Okay. I have Elena here. I'm going to put this on the screen. Elena just joined. She joined from our webinar a couple of week ago, 10 days ago. Elena, she said, I got brave and DM'd some businesses I follow on Instagram. And now I have 3 calls scheduled out of the 11 DMs I sent. So, you don't have to cold message people, but what's really cool about bookkeeping is if you just say, hey, I just want you guys to know I offer bookkeeping services. If you need any help, I'd be happy to support you. Doesn't have to be spammy, doesn't have to be pushy at all. But out of 11 people she reached out to, it probably took her 5 minutes. She has 3 discovery calls scheduled. Incredible. It's incredible. So anyway, but we show you how to post content that actually gets people intrigued. And so business owners will see it. We show you how to grow your network and to include more business owners. Then business owners start to see some of the stuff you're posting, and then they're like, I want to reach out to them. And so they end up reaching out to you. And that's how you get clients off of social media and networking with people in groups. So we talk about all of that in the academy and help you learn all of that as well. So that's the first of the 3 marketing. The second one is networking groups. And this is a really, really quick and easy and fun way to get clients when you join networking groups. Most of them are in person, but they do have some online right now. So this is really the only local thing that you would actually need to leverage your local community. But we help you create a strategy when attending these groups, so you know exactly how to make the most use of your time and how to get clients from these groups. So we'll show you how to not only get referrals from the group, but also create referral partnerships. So other members of the group are actually going to be doing their marketing, your marketing for you, which is really, really cool. So I have a student named Terry, and she joined a networking group like this. And in September, she made about $7,000 just from referrals from that group. And she's only been in it for a couple months, which is really, really awesome. When I was in a networking group for my bookkeeping business, it cost about $500 for me to be in that group for the whole year. And I made over $60,000 just from that group, just from that networking group. So it's really awesome too, because when you start working from home, it's kind of fun to get out and meet some people. And it ended up turning into a little family for me. Sometimes these can be a little bit nerve-wracking if you're a super introvert like I was, but what was great about it is that it's a super small group and you really get to know everybody. And so it's not scary. It's actually pretty fun. And then these people kind of help you do your marketing, which is fantastic. So that is a really, really, really helpful and popular method that our students utilize. And then the third one is email marketing. So we teach you how to gather large lists of business owners, but also large lists of tax offices. And then we show you how to implement an email campaign and email strategy for both business owners and both tax offices. So let me talk about that for a second. First, business owners, obviously that's like self-explanatory. You're going to be sending them emails in hopes that they need bookkeeping services and will want to talk to you about bookkeeping services. And so then that's how you would get clients there. But the tax offices, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, that Jessica is doing, if you get a couple of partnerships created with some tax people, they will consistently send you clients. And then you almost don't even have to do marketing. So, for example, every business owner has to have their bookkeeping done before they do their taxes. Most tax people don't actually like to do bookkeeping, but they can't do the tax returns if the bookkeeping isn't done. So during tax season, when they're slammed with tax returns, they look for bookkeepers to outsource the bookkeeping work to so that they can just focus on the taxes. So if you develop a couple of different partnerships with tax offices, you can likely just get fed client after client after client. This is one way that Kaylee Douglas has been able to grow her business up to 500K while still being able to maintain that work-life balance with her kids and growing her family at the same time as well, because she has a really great tax partner who sends her bookkeeping referrals all the time, which is fantastic. So we help you create those relationships, navigate them, and make sure they're structured in a way that you benefit the most from it. We also did a contest a few months ago in our program of like whoever reached out to the most tax experts, created the most referral arrangements with them, and got the most clients from them, won a double monitor setup. And student Stephanie did that. She won it. And Stephanie is actually going to be doing a workshop over the next like couple of weeks, sometime in November. And she's going to walk everyone in the academy through exactly what she did to have such amazing results. She's about to have her, I believe, second baby. And she has so many people coming in that her and I are going to work one-on-one to help build her team. So that way, when her baby comes, which I think is going to be in about 5 weeks, she's going to have the team there set and ready to be able to handle all of this work that's coming in from all of her new CPA partnerships. So really exciting to be able to showcase that to you guys. So now I am curious, out of all of these things, let's see, I'm going to put a poll up. How do I do that? Poll. Here we go. There. Okay. Can you vote? And you can pick which one that you want to do the most. I think you can pick more than one. If you're going to do all of them, you can select them all. But which ones are you going to do? And if it doesn't let you pick multiple ones, if you're planning on doing more than one, drop that into the chat. This is fun. I like to see exactly what is most popular. It keeps changing. It's like all kind of average. This is great. Email is best, I guess. Okay, awesome. Almost got about half of you guys have voted. Vote, vote, vote. What's your preferred marketing? Give you guys a couple more seconds. Can you touch base on how to visit BNI? I get confused when I go onto the BNI website. Yeah, might try the email too. Yeah, so in our program, we have a full walkthrough of how to utilize BNI, how to find the group that best suits you, how to test them out to make sure it's like the right fit for you. But then once you decide to join, how to make the most of it as well. So we like really go into all of that detail in the academy as well. But basically, if you go onto the BNI website, you'll search for your city or your area, and then you'll look for ones that don't already have a bookkeeper, and then you can go visit them. I think you have to request to visit from the website, but that's how that would work. Meetup, business groups, and email. I like to do calls. Awesome. Okay, let's end the poll here and share the results. So it looks like it's kind of average for everybody. So 72% want to do social media, 52% want to do networking, and 68% want to do email. But yes, if you want to do all three, put a thumbs up in the chat if you're going to do all three, because that will just get you to your goal even faster. All right. So from here, would you guys like to see how we help our students achieve these results? I know I've alluded to it quite a few times throughout this, but I want to give you guys the exact, like, here is exactly what we do for you. Here is exactly what you get. Jen says, yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to dive into that. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys what the typical journey looks like for you and for our students. So the first thing, features of what you get, the benefits of getting our help. So you're going to have a private members only Facebook group. Many of you probably have access to our free Facebook group, the one that's pictured here, but we actually have a private one that is just for our Bookkeeper Academy students. So we have, I think, around 200 people in there right now. Most of them are in their first year or so of their bookkeeping business. And then the rest of them are in their second, third, and fourth years in their business. So you get to collaborate with all of the people going through this in their first years and help each other out and learn from each other and things like that. But then you also get to connect with the people that have already been doing this for years. Some of those rock stars, people that I've shown you on here, Kaylee and Jason Douglas are in there. Lots of other people are also in there that have, exceeded all of the results here, even exceeded all the goals that you guys have had for yourself. So you'll get to collaborate and connect with them as well. But we also have 8 to 10 different people from our team that are in here to support you as well. And they're all either experts in growing a business or experts in doing bookkeeping or experts in growing a team. And you're going to have access to all of those people. But the really cool thing is we don't run it like a Facebook group. We treat it like a ticketing system. So every single time a question is asked or posted, we call it submitting. We answer all of those questions that are submitted. The cool thing is, as a member, you get to see everybody's questions and you get to see every single answer. So you are going to learn so much by that in and of itself. But these questions can be related to any topic you can think of. Some examples are like sales, marketing, quoting questions, QuickBooks Online questions, technical bookkeeping or tax questions, workflow, mindset, all that kind of stuff. Nothing is off the table. We love questions. And we answer these questions 6 days a week. If you ask a question between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern time on any of these days, we currently have a 45-minute response time. And actually last week it was 33 minutes. So we try to beat our response time like every single week. And any question asked outside of these times, we do answer it at the beginning of the next shift. Currently, right now, Saturdays, we do have a slower response time on Saturdays, but through the week, it was 33 minutes last week. This is really awesome for you because whenever you get stuck on a certain point of your business, whether you're going through the coursework or you're working with a client or anything, sometimes you'll get up to a roadblock and it like stops you. And then you have 2 options: spend hours and hours Googling or researching or trying to figure out on your own, or post it in our group, wait 30 minutes and get an answer. So it's really great because then not only do you get to plow past those roadblocks really fast, which helps speed up your success, but you also get to look like a rock star to your client. Because when you get a new client, you're not going to know everything in the beginning, right? They're going to be like your first couple clients. So what you can tell your client is, hey, I haven't been doing this for a very long time, but I do have a really awesome network of resources to help me. So if you ever ask me a question and I'm not sure, I can usually get an answer. And I usually tell my students to say within 24 hours. But then you can come back and get them an answer within like an hour. It's amazing. So it's really awesome to help you not only look like a rock star, but blow past those roadblocks really quickly so you can reach your goals faster. So we track everything in our academy. So here's like a screenshot from one of our meetings from my coaches. In this, the first column shows the number of tickets, or these are questions that were asked. So a total of like 578 down at the bottom. And then out of that, 71% of them were answered within the first response. So our response time here shows 42 minutes. This week, it was on average of 42 minutes. So 71% of those questions were literally fully answered in 42 minutes. Sometimes we need to ask you guys more questions before we can fully answer the question. And so if there's a little bit of back and forth we have to do, it might take a little bit more time to resolve it. So that last column is resolution time. And we resolved all 578 questions with a max of 65 minutes, which is really, really awesome. But we track this. We want you guys to get really super fast help. We want you to get really great, accurate, awesome help so that you can make money, achieve those goals, and keep moving forward in your business. Oh, Jen says, I just remembered my uncle is a longtime CPA. He's going to send me client referrals. Fantastic. Great, Jen. That is awesome. Okay, in addition to answering questions in the group, we also have Zoom calls. So we actually are available about 70 hours a week to help you guys grow your business. Part of that is over group Zoom calls here. So we have 7 to 8 Zoom calls every week. It fluctuates depending on the time of year. But the main ones right now, we have them Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Time. And right now we just have our Wednesday night call at 7 p.m. And then we have a Friday afternoon call as well. That's all based on mindset. So most of these are open general Q&A. There's a couple of mindset calls that are specific topic oriented, but we stay on until every question is answered. Sometimes they're only about an hour. Other times they're couple hours. So we just make sure that everybody's questions get answered. When you first join, you can just sit on those calls and kind of listen, see how it goes, get a feel for, the kind of things that you're going to learn and the kinds of questions that you're going to ask in the future. And then as you start to have questions, you can post in the chat, you can unmute, whatever you feel comfortable with, but our team is going to be there to help you the whole way. You also have a dedicated client success director that's going to support you one-on-one, mostly over email or texting. And then she's going to help guide you through the process. So the really cool thing about our client success director is that when you're in the academy, you're going to get access to like so much coursework, like as much as you would get doing a 4-year accounting degree, but you don't need to go through all of the coursework right away. You really only need to go through it when the need arises. So as you'll have access to all of it, but the client success director will help point you to what you need to know given the situation you're in. So that way you can focus on, getting to the results and the goals that you have and doing the learning in between times when you have extra time that's needed. But then if there is something that you need to know because maybe your client has a question, we'll point you to that exact spot that you can go to in the coursework if it's necessary, or we'll just answer the question, either one. So typically the journey, what that looks like for students that are in our academy is the first couple weeks, they spend time setting up their business back office, learning the basics of bookkeeping and business ownership, learning how to provide this amazing service to clients, learning how to communicate intelligently with a potential client, so you know how to conduct a potential client discovery call. All of that stuff happens in the first couple of weeks, and this is just assuming you have about 1 to 2 hours a day to kind of go through the basic coursework and get everything set up. Usually it takes our students about a couple of weeks to do that. And then the last half of the first month, that's when you're working on developing your marketing plan, getting help, support, feedback from our group calls, and getting ready to start launching your marketing plan. And so from there, after you've launched your marketing plan, we typically see most of our clients enroll their first few clients in that second month. And then from here, we're going to help you with your cleanup jobs, help you with onboarding, help you with knowing how to do the work and providing world-class service. And then, so there's a lot of learning at the beginning when you get your first few clients. And then the rest of the year is kind of like rinse and repeat and like get this down in muscle memory, right? Continue onboarding, continue working with new clients, become an expert bookkeeper. And then you're going to work with clients from all industries. Our team has helped students with clients from almost every single industry. So no matter what client comes your way, you're not going to have to turn them away because we'll be able to help you with them. And then we really help you continue to set that foundation for a profitable business that gives you the financial, location, and time freedom that you guys are all looking for. So with that being said, what questions can I answer about the Bookkeeper Academy or about a bookkeeping business in general? Does anybody have any more questions on that? While the questions are coming in, I just want to share a couple of other little things with you. If you guys want to apply for funding, please comment below if you want to apply for funding. I'm going to have Sean reach out to you. He's my husband. He's going to text all of you guys after this webinar is over. Make sure that you guys have all of your questions answered and be able to assist you in the funding process. So if you guys are ready to apply for funding, let me grab this link here. It takes about 5 minutes to apply. Is anyone in here? This is the US. This is for the US link. So if anybody is in Canada or outside the US, please let me know, because this is not the correct link for you. But I'm going to drop this in here. If you guys want to go ahead and apply for funding here, there's the link. Now, just so you guys know, when you apply for funding, they move fast. So you need to make sure you have your first monthly payment available, because they will automatically approve you. They will take your first payment and they will get your information over to us so we can onboard you right away. So bookmark this link if you're not quite ready for your monthly payment, but if you're ready to go, you're ready to go, they'll do it fast. It all goes super fast. Now you'll click this link, you'll fill out some information, takes about 5 minutes. Yeah, Tariq, it should work in the US Virgin Islands. I believe so. This will take you 5 minutes to apply. You should know within a couple of hours if you've been pre-approved for main funding. If you're pre-approved for main funding because you have really great credit, then they'll move on to the normal verification process and you will have like probably a smaller monthly payment. If you aren't approved for the main funding, you're going to go into our guaranteed funding automatically, and then you'll be approved right away. You'll have to book a call with the lender, make your $640 down payment, sign some paperwork, and you're ready to roll. It's super fast. All of that can literally happen within a couple of hours. So if you guys want to get started today, before the weekend hits, we can literally do it. Let me drop that link in here for Canada as well. If you are in Canada, you have a different link. Let me grab it. Canada link. And we are also going to reach out to you guys. If you don't get a text from us, please make sure to email. I'm going to put Sean's email address in here. Make sure I spell it right. Okay, there's Sean's email address. He's going to shoot you a text after this. So that way, if you have any questions, you need more information on the funding, you can also talk directly with him. And, of course, I'm going to stay on here if you guys have more questions. So let's see. Now, I will tell you guys, in Canada, they don't offer the guaranteed approval process. It has to go through main funding. So if you don't have the credit, like good credit through Canada, work with Sean, because we can probably just do an internal payment plan. If you do an internal payment plan with us, we require $3,000 down, and then we break the rest of it out over the 12 months. So that would be another option for you guys too. So if anybody wants that option to just go ahead and pay $3,000 down, we can get you in right away and not have to do any of that. Alina, let me share my screen here and show you the pricing again. Let's see here. For those of you that missed it, let's see. Okay, so our program, again, for those of you applying for funding, it's $12,000 is the number that you're going to put in USD. And you get 12 months of support, everything that we talked about, to get a 10x return on your investment in the first year. That is what we are striving for. And then if you're in the US, due to the Bookkeeper Academy success, you're going to be approved no matter what. So just make sure you have that $640 monthly payment handy, because the second you apply, you're going to get approved and you'll be able to make that payment and get right in. So that's what it would be. It's actually $640 over a 24-month payment plan, which obviously would have interest, right, guys? But actually, what the lender has worked out, if you do pay it off within 12 months, it's interest free, which is super fantastic, because if you get a cleanup job, you can easily pay it off early. So there's really like no risk there at all. Can we apply to see how much we will end up having to pay per month, and then reapply when I'm ready to make a payment? So Katie, if you're in the US, I would just encourage you to apply if you can afford the $640, worst case scenario, unless you have good credit. If you have really good credit and you think you're going to be approved for a smaller amount, you can go ahead and apply now. But honestly, from what we've seen, like the way that the economy is right now and how much everybody has been struggling and things like that, like 90% of our students are getting right into the guaranteed approval category. And so their payment is $640. So for budgeting purposes, if you have the $640, then I'd say go ahead and do it right now. Let's get you some results, because now is such a great time to get started. Because if you guys get started right now, get everything set up and going, get your marketing rolled out, as you're going into December, people are going to start thinking about taxes. They're going to start thinking about it in December. You could likely get a couple of cleanup jobs in December, but even better, once the holidays are done and January hits, boom, you are going to explode with clients. People are going to be like, I got to get my taxes done. I need all my bookkeeping caught up. And you're already going to have your business set up. You're already going to have your marketing rolling, and you're just going to start rolling in the clients. We call it in the academy, and we call it a snowball effect, where once you start your marketing going and it starts to build momentum, you just start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the ball rolls and all these clients start coming in. So if you guys get started now, that'll likely hit for you right when tax season gets here. It's like the best time to get started. Veronica plans to start next week. Awesome. Fantastic. Yep. Cheaper than going back to college and such a higher return. Exactly. I had over $65,000 worth of student loan debt when I went to college for my accounting degree, and then the extra classes that I had to take for my CPA license. And I never even made that in 1 year working for someone. So it is a much higher return on investment. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So a few other things I want to share with you guys. I shared with you, Crystal, how, like I mentioned, Crystal here, the lender moves fast. So if you guys apply, I'd love for you guys to apply today. It would be fantastic. If you're ready to go, if you've got that $640 earmarked. Now, keep in mind, you really only need to make sure you've got it for a few months, because if you commit to yourself that you're going to follow the steps, you're going to get clients to cover that monthly payment going forward. So even if it's a stretch to your budget right now, don't forget, you're going to do this. You're going to get results because you're going to follow the steps, which then means you're going to have more money coming in to cover it. So even if you just have the first few months available right now, or you can think of a way to finagle the first few months, I say go ahead and apply, go ahead and get in there, and let's get you some results. But Crystal applied on a Saturday. Because it was a Saturday, it was Monday before they finalized everything. She was in the academy by Monday night, and by Tuesday, she got her first client. So that's how fast they are. If you guys apply today, you could be in the academy by this evening. So super, super fast. The other thing I want to share with you is, let's see, some of the things that people have been saying about our support in the academy. So one of our students, Jen, the other day, she posted on October 20th, "Happy Friday. How about we flip the script and do a mentor coach appreciation post?" And I love this. So she said, let's share general thanks or a specific time that they saved your behind in the comments to show some love to these ladies who take care of us. She said, "I'll start. I appreciate that I can post here and feel like I'm getting judge-free help from every mentor, no matter how dumb that question may feel. I appreciate that my questions are answered so fast. It truly makes me feel like there is no disruption to my workday, because I know I'll get a resolution fairly quickly and therefore be able to help my client pretty seamlessly. I have felt confident in what I'm doing because I know I have them in my corner, and it has been key to any success I have acquired. Thank you for being on the journey with us and just being genuinely awesome people to work with." Love that. So that's what Jen has to say about our support group. Amy, she says, "I've been in here for a year now, and I just renewed 100% because of the mentor support. I've learned so much from you all, and I'm very grateful to you." Amy was a previous therapist. Let's see. Tracy is our head of education. She's one of the ladies you're going to be working with. Sharon is also a former student who is also now one of our awesome coaches. She says, "I, for one, felt much the same as a student. I felt that I would not have been able to have a business like this without this level of support. And now I love being able to be even just a small part of this team and this community to help others on their journey." Let's see, Jen, this is the lady that I told you about that had the $32,000 cleanup job. She says, "I have had some of the most difficult clients, and no matter what the issue is, the mentors have been there to help no matter how long it takes. I don't feel that like my business wouldn't have been able to grow without the help of the mentors." Denise says, I appreciate all the mentors and fellow cakers' encouragement. I'm pretty new here, and it's so great to see such a positive atmosphere with mentors that truly care about our success. Terry says, I appreciate all the support when I started questioning if I can do this. I get encouragement. I appreciate that no matter the question, I get help. Without the mentors, I would have thrown in the towel. This one says, I appreciate that you all let me figure it out to the end. I keep asking questions until I feel like I actually understand. And that's really what we want to. We want to make sure that you guys are learning everything and understanding everything. And then Molly says, I appreciate the calls that happen every day or even multiple times a day. It really helps to hear what others are experiencing and the solutions. It makes me less scared to put myself out there because I know if at any point I have a problem, I can jump on a call and get an answer. So that is super, super awesome. And I hopefully that helps kind of showcase a little bit more about what it is that we are doing. I'm going to stop sharing for a second so we can all have a little chat. All right. So anyway, you guys are all going to hear from Sean today. And that way, if you guys have any more questions, you can ask him and he can answer those too privately. But I'm also here to answer anybody's questions as well. You're very welcome, Jen. Thank you so much. Super excited for you guys to get started. Anybody apply for funding already? Drop a little thumbs up in the chat. I think we have, oh, it looks like a Jessica. Oh, Jessica, the one that I was talking about. She just got approved to get in as well, which is awesome. Awesome. Yes, Jen, you have a quick question. I'm happy to answer. Awesome. Jen just got approved too. Congratulations, Jen. I'm really excited for you to get started. It's going to be really awesome. Does anybody have any confusion or need any clarity on the bookkeeping business at all? Happy to provide some clarity. And also, while we're waiting for some more questions to come in, I'll share this too. So here's a little testimonial. This is from a student named Robin. So I'll give you a little backstory on Robin. Robin and I met when I first launched the Bookkeeper Academy. And Robin had her own parent coaching business, and I actually hired her to do some parent coaching for me. And Robin decided to come over and do a little bit of work for me as well. Earlier this year, I think it was in January, she started doing discovery calls for the Bookkeeper Academy. And she kept seeing all of these people that she was putting into the academy getting all this success. So she decided to start her own bookkeeping business too. So she has her parent coaching business. Her husband works full-time in IT. Neither one of them had bookkeeping experience at all, but she's like, I'm just going to do it. So she started her bookkeeping business. And she goes, I have to share, Tiffany, after 3 months of working your program, my husband and I have calculated our earnings from our bookkeeping business, and we've already made $20,000. So in just 3 months, she's made $20,000. At the beginning of the year, I had no interest in becoming a bookkeeper, no interest in starting another business, no real interest in numbers. But when I saw this program and the opportunity to grow a business with my husband for our family, I couldn't ignore the possibilities. July 1st is when we started to seriously work with clients, and we haven't looked back. By the end of the year, our goal is to make $10,000 a month, and I know it's entirely possible. It hasn't been without its ups and downs or some sacrifices, but it's been worth it. Whatever your why is, if we can do it, you can too. So she says, thank you, Tiffany. I'm forever grateful to you. And if you would like to know more, join my weekly calls, Overcoming What's Blocking You with Robin. So Robin also coaches every Friday in our group, and she talks about how your mindset and shifting your perspective can help you get results. So Robin has mastered her mindset, and this is why she's been able to make $20,000 so quickly. So if you follow the steps and you don't have anything holding you back mentally, then you can really make as much money as you want. If you do have some things that are holding you back mentally, you can come to these calls and Robin will help talk you through it, which is really, really cool. So I love that. Scott says, does QBO play nice with both PC and Mac? Would you suggest one over the other or about the same experience between them? That's a great question. So QBO is all internet based. So you can very easily work on Chrome on your Mac. I don't think it works real well with Safari, so you'll probably want to use the Chrome browser. But I use QuickBooks on both uh my MacBook. I was going to say iPad and I was like, that's not right. My MacBook laptop, I use it on there, and I also use it on my PC. I've been historically a PC person, so I have like a PC setup here. And once you get a few clients, then it's fun to get a dual monitor setup because it really helps you with efficiency and your workflow. But at the beginning, you can use whatever you're comfortable with. But I know a lot of people that use Macs. The only thing that you would struggle with a Mac is QuickBooks Desktop. Doesn't work well with Macs, I think. And then we do use Excel on occasion. You need CSV files. So as long as you can do that on a Mac, then you'd be good. So I don't think you'll experience too much difficulty with either one. I personally, just as a personal preference, like to use my PC though. Great question, Scott. Let's see. My question for you as a total noob is, and maybe you already said this, is there a rough draft script we will have to contact potential clients? Yes, absolutely. Great question, Jen. You guys are going to have the scripts, engagement letter templates, proposal templates, like everything you could possibly think of that you would need in your business. You're going to have access to it on day one in the academy. So you will know exactly what to say when you talk to potential clients. We even have a series of sample calls so you kind of know exactly how that call should flow. And it's really nice too, because when you are interviewing a client, you don't even have to do very much talking, because you go through the script and you ask questions. They do like 80 to 90% of the talking. And then you get off the call and you come do a quote, and then you get back on the call to present it. So it's really, really nice. But yes, we will walk you through all of those things. Michael said, I'd like to thank you and Sean for sticking with me and the patience you guys have, because sometimes funding can be a person's biggest holdup. Yes, absolutely. We know sometimes that it can take a little bit to get it together, really, make that game plan. It's hard right now. Everybody's living on such 2015 income with 2030 prices, right? It's hard. Everybody's experiencing difficulties, which is why another reason I'm so passionate to get you guys in here, and I'm so excited about this guaranteed funding approval, because it doesn't take very many clients for you guys to get yourself in a totally different financial situation, which is what excites me and gets me so excited. So I would like to thank you, Michael, for sticking with it, not giving up on yourself, persistence, perseverance. You just got to keep working until you've got it, and then it'll be go time. Catherine says, I'm trying to budget so I can start. Yes, absolutely. If you guys can, just even figure out a way where you can secure the first couple of payments. If you know for a fact, if you're going to commit to yourself that you're going to come in and you're going to follow the steps right away, and you're not going to hide or dilly dally. That's the only time we see people struggle to get clients, is if they kind of hide. They come in and then they're like scared, or they hide. If you come in and you follow the steps, you answer all of our questions, you respond to every one of our emails and texts, so we can keep pushing you through the process, easy peasy. You're going to get clients, and you're going to be able to cover that monthly fee and pay it off early. Grace says, is there a list for client acquisition? So we do have an entire marketing section where we walk you through exactly what to do to start getting clients. And of course, we're going to have a marketing workshop here sometime in the next 2 weeks, a live marketing workshop too, to really help you guys get some new CPA partnerships before tax season rolls out. Katie says, if I have the money to start next month, do I need to join next month's meeting in order to apply? No, Katie, Sean will be texting you. So if you don't get a text from Sean, please email us and let us know, because sometimes they don't go through. If people have spam blockers on their phone, it is a business line. So if you for whatever reason don't get a text, let us know, and we'll give you the number and you can save it, maybe text us. Or Sean, if you are still on here and want to drop your number in, you guys feel free to text him as well, so that way it shows up in your text threads. But you can just keep in contact with Sean. You guys are welcome to come on these anytime you want, but if you're ready to roll, you don't have to come back on one. You can just apply, get in, we're ready to go. Jen says, amazing. I'm going to search for those today because I'm reaching out right away. Fantastic. Awesome. Yes. And just let Jen, as you get onboarded and stuff, just let Tracy and Candace know what you're looking for. They'll point you right to what you need. So you don't have to like spend an hour like trying to thumb through all the coursework. So just let them know they're ready. They're ready to show you where it is. Tariq says, what laptop would you recommend getting for using bookkeeping? So it depends on your budget. We have students, if they're on a really tight budget at the beginning, you can do this with a Chromebook. You can do this with one of those cheap netbooks. As you get more clients and you start making more money, it's worth kind of upgrading your setup just because you can work so much faster. And once you guys start building your business, your mindset is going to shift when it comes to time and your time, because you're going to start realizing every minute that you spend is money. Your time will be money. And it's different when you're an employee than when you own a business, because then like if I invest my time into this, it could turn into more money. So it would make sense to maybe, let's say, pay an extra $1,000 for a really nice computer setup if you know that that's going to save you 5 to 10 hours per month, where then you could go and get more clients to be able to do work and make, $500 to $1,000 per month more because you have this new computer. So you'll start thinking differently when it comes to that with those things. So really, like, any laptop will work in the beginning. I don't really necessarily have any particular preference. I always tend to buy like gaming computers because I feel like they're really fast. I have a gaming computer right now. It's about $1,000, but it's a PC. It's a full PC. I personally don't like laptops because I like to have the big screens. So once you get enough clients where you like to have multiple screens, you probably won't even want a laptop unless you're in the RV or traveling or something. Grace says, is the marketing webinar to get clients you are referring to going to be on Zoom? Yes, it'll be a live group Zoom call. Absolutely. Veronica said, I will start in Phillies and 640 still work for me. Yes, 640 would be the monthly payment. If you have to be in a US based or have a US address to qualify for the guaranteed funding. So, but if you are working somewhere else, if you're working in, the Philippines or, wherever, over in the UK or Canada or anything like that, if you have a US based address, I think that's the only way to qualify for the guaranteed funding. But yes, absolutely. So let's see. I think I had a couple other things I could show you guys too. Always lots of things. Oh, here's a great one. I'll share this with you guys real quick. Another thing from Jen. So if you look at this slideshow here, Jennifer at the top here, she's the one that got the $32,000 cleanup job. She's interviewed on my podcast and all that jazz, but this is a win she shared on October 9th. I have to share a win because I am so excited. I just got my 25th client today. I also have 3 proposals out there just from Friday and today. So 25 clients plus 3 proposals. She said last year at this time, I had 2 clients. So this is what I'm talking about the snowball effect, how once you get momentum and once you get going, it really starts to explode and you can double your business easily every single year. She said, I will say it again, only 2 clients at this time last year. Believe in yourself and trust and the process as it does work. It's so awesome. Kelly got our first, or her biggest client, $2,500 per month. We've been helping her work through this one. But I go through these, I don't know if you guys see these, but I do lives every single Wednesday and I share all the previous week's wins from all of our students. So there's always so many of these out. If you scroll down my Facebook page or in our Facebook group, you should see all of these as well, which is really, really cool. And let's see if I can get to the YouTube channel. I can drop that in there. Anybody else need any links? Do you need a link for the funding or anything like that? Let me know. Anything else? And any other questions you guys have for me? Happy to elaborate. And if there isn't any more questions, I will wrap this up, and you guys can all expect to hear from Sean sometime today. If you don't hear from him, please shoot me an email or shoot him an email so that way we can make sure that the texts are going through and we can get all of your questions answered. So I look forward to seeing you guys all in the Academy. I can't wait to help each and every one of you guys reach all of those financial goals 1, 2, and 3, and then hit all of those extra things that you've got too. So the marketing webinar hasn't been scheduled yet, Grace, but it should be sometime in November. We're going to be doing it in November. So, yep, super excited. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and feel free to join me again on Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. I will be right back here on Zoom. Okay, bye guys. We'll see you later.